FIRE, financial independence, retire early, is often portrayed on social media as this perfect, enviable destination. Early retirement is often front and center of the narrative in the FIRE movement. You always see people in beautiful locations, taking advantage of their newfound freedom with absolutely no challenges. Now, that's not to say that these beautiful moments don't happen, but today I'm going to highlight the realities of the FIRE movement that you rarely see on social media. We're going to talk about the 9 huge lies about the FIRE movement that nobody else talks about. And to kick us off, the first huge lie is that FIRE will solve all of your problems. The appeal of financial independence and early retirement is so powerful that it can contribute to unrealistic expectations. This intense focus on the end goal has created a dangerous myth that FIRE is somehow the answer to everything. Are you stuck in a toxic job?
Well, once I reach FIRE, that'll be over.
Feeling lost and directionless?
Just imagine all the time I'll have to figure things out when I don't have to work.
The list goes on and on. The reality is that FIRE won't magically fix your problems. It just gives you more time and flexibility to work on them. If you're unhappy in your career, unfulfilled in your relationships, or struggling with mental health, those challenges will follow you into financial independence. FIRE is a powerful tool for creating options in your life, but it's not a silver bullet for happiness or personal fulfillment. It can be easy to fall into this trap of everything will be better once I reach FIRE. But this mindset can lead to postponing important life decisions and personal growth, making the journey much harder than it needs to be. If you're pursuing financial independence, be careful not to kick the proverbial can down the road. Take time right now to address your challenges, work through your fears, and discover the things that interest you. The next lie is that pursuing financial independence means depriving yourself. Okay, I'll admit it, I was guilty of believing this one many years ago. About a decade ago, when I first talked to Jess about financial independence, I became obsessed with saving money and postponing life's pleasures until that someday. This mindset made financial independence seem like nothing but self-denial. This is similar to the concepts of eating rice and beans, biking everywhere, and never going out to eat, as some will still advocate for. But here's the truth. You don't need to deprive yourself to join the FIRE movement. You can still pursue financial independence while enjoying life's pleasures. As my understanding of FIRE has matured, I've realized that you can, and you should, spend money on things you truly value. While starting your financial independence journey might involve reducing some expenses, it's really about being intentional with your spending and aligning your money with what matters most to you. The key is finding that right balance for your situation. Success comes from creating a sustainable approach that lets you enjoy life while steadily progressing towards financial independence. There's a subtle but key difference here. The next lie is a natural progression of the last one, and it's that you must save 50% or more of your income. This myth comes in many variations, with the quote-unquote required savings rate ranging from 30% to 70%, all depending on who's telling the story. While I can't pinpoint exactly where this started, it likely stems from simple math. A higher savings rate accelerates your path to financial independence. Over time, this understanding has morphed into an unofficial competition, with people trying to outdo each other's savings rates. And unfortunately, this competitive mindset has turned saving into a form of gatekeeping within the FIRE movement. Now, saying it out loud makes it sound ridiculous, but trust me, I've seen firsthand that some people in the FIRE movement genuinely believe this lie. So what's the truth? Well, there's no required savings rate in the FIRE movement. You can save as much or as little as you like, and this can change throughout your journey. Take our journey, for example. Early on, we saved over 60% of our income. Now we're coasting to financial independence with an effective savings rate of 0%. We're not contributing to retirement anymore. Instead, we're letting our existing investments grow and compound while we cover our expenses. Don't let anyone dictate how much you should save. Start with your goals and work backward from there. The next lie is that FIRE is only for high-income earners. Whew. This one hits home. When I first discovered the FIRE movement, I honestly didn't think I belonged. I devoured the most popular FIRE blogs at the time, mainly because I was obsessed with personal finance, and slowly those ideas began seeping into my daily life. But initially, I believed that FIRE was exclusively for high-income earners. Even though I was well-versed in personal finance, I assumed that early retirement or financial independence at a young age was only possible for those with substantial discretionary income. And I was completely wrong. It took me years to break free from this mental barrier. This isn't necessarily a lie that people actively promote. It's more of a limiting belief that many of us struggle to overcome. The truth is that achieving financial independence depends on your savings rate, the percentage that you save, and how long you save it. It isn't tied to any specific income threshold or socioeconomic class. If you manage your expenses and invest consistently over time, financial independence is within reach for most people. And while higher incomes certainly provide an advantage, don't let a modest income stop you from pursuing the freedom and flexibility that comes with building wealth. The next one isn't exclusive to the FIRE movement. It's actually a larger personal finance myth, but it is prevalent in the FIRE community. The lie is that renting is a waste of money. And I get it. As someone who now owns a fully paid off home, I'm a firm believer that lowering your expenses can provide you even more freedom and flexibility. But that's not to say that buying a home is better, or even that it's the best financial decision for everyone. The truth is, renting can be a smart financial decision, especially in high cost of living areas or when you need flexibility in your life. When you rent, you're not throwing money away, as some would call it. You're actually paying for a place to live. Just like homeowners pay for property taxes, maintenance, and interest on their mortgage. The decision between renting and buying should be based on your personal circumstances, financial goals, and local market conditions, not on an oversimplified rule or peer pressure from the FIRE community. As the FIRE community has evolved, I've actually been really encouraged to see more and more people embrace this level of nuance and accept that there are different paths to FIRE. But more on that later. The next lie about the FIRE movement is that retirement means never earning money again. Have you encountered the retirement police yet? If not, consider yourself lucky. This group exists and they're quite passionate. If you've had a run-in with the retirement police, please share your story in the comments below. According to this lie, retiring means you should never earn another dollar ever again. The retirement police, as they're often called, treat the word retirement as sacred, almost like you would if you were in a cult. They simply can't imagine retirement being anything different than the traditional definition. But here's the reality: retirement is evolving rapidly, and the traditional view is becoming obsolete. We now understand that retirement doesn't have to be a single 10 to 40 year period at the end of your life. There are mini retirements and semi-retirement. These concepts have transformed how we think about retirement. And we've actually released a separate video about these two ideas. I'll drop a link to that video if you want to go deeper on those two concepts. The simple truth is that you can retire and still earn active income. Making money doesn't invalidate your retirement status. And more importantly, this obsession with the technicalities is pointless. And we in the FIRE movement need to be more open-minded about different approaches. That seems to be a recurring theme in this video. The next lie is that you can accurately predict exactly how much money you'll need in retirement. This lie shows up when people obsess over their FI numbers, setting up that fixed target of 25 times their annual expenses as their ultimate goal. And they pour all of their energy into reaching that goal. This approach assumes you can perfectly predict your future expenses. But here's the truth. Life changes in ways that you would never expect. 2 years ago, I thought I knew what our expenses would look like 10 to 20 years from now. Today, they've changed significantly after our recent move from Boston to rural northern New Hampshire. We cut our expenses in ways I never could have anticipated, and that's my way of saying you simply don't know what you don't know. And I'm not saying this to frighten you or suggest that you need to save more than the typical 25 times your annual expenses to build a buffer. I'm actually saying this to free you from the obsession over the numbers. You can and should still try to estimate your future needs, but most of us would be better served by approaching the future with a wait and see mindset. The key is staying flexible and adaptable while maintaining a clear direction toward your goals. This shift from rigid planning to adaptable progress makes the entire journey more sustainable and enjoyable. The next lie is that FIRE is a one-size-fits-all strategy. It's the belief that there's one defined path to retirement and optimal strategies that everyone should follow. Now, there's a delicate balance between sharing helpful strategies and insisting that everyone should follow the same path. Unfortunately, this line gets crossed frequently in the FIRE movement, especially in online forums where people debate what others should do. In our coaching courses and retreats, we often ask participants to identify their shoulds, those things that they think or have been told that they must do. Setting these aside help people discover what they truly want, to dream bigger, and to see new possibilities. I firmly believe there's no single strategy or approach that works for everyone. There just isn't. Even seemingly straightforward decisions like renting versus buying have countless factors to consider. The same applies to even more widely accepted FIRE principles like avoiding consumer debt. While these might be good rules of thumb, they don't apply universally to every situation. And this isn't just about accepting different paths. It's about opening yourself to new possibilities. And when you let go of this lie, you can look inward and understand who you truly are, what brings you joy, and how to forge your own path. The world would be so much richer, pun intended, if we did all of this. So how do I know this is true? I've watched key voices in the FIRE community embrace this new perspective. The conversation has shifted from pursuing optimal paths to sharing diverse stories that can then inspire people. This video isn't meant to criticize the FIRE movement. Instead, it's about identifying these lies so we can grow stronger together moving forward. The last and perhaps most important lie is that you need to retire early to benefit from FIRE. This stems from a common misconception that we discuss on our channel, that financial independence is an all or nothing proposition. Many people in the FIRE movement believe you must reach full financial independence before making any life changes or experiencing financial freedom. This mindset is reinforced by our community's language, even in simple questions like, are you FI yet? The truth is that building wealth brings incremental freedom. As you progress on your journey, you gain more flexibility and options. And you can leverage this growing wealth to create more freedom long before you reach complete financial independence. Thankfully, this misconception is fading. A major reason is that key voices in the FIRE community have evolved their message, or have become better at communicating it. This includes Mr. Money Mustache, who shares his thoughts on the direction of the FIRE community in this video up here. Watch it to learn more about this significant shift in the FIRE movement. As always, thanks so much for watching and enjoy the journey.